Sunday 25th of February 2024, and in this evening's show we are purring over yesterday's Derby Day delight at Bloomfield Road as the Pool put Evo and Bolton to the sword in a resounding victory against the Trotters to put us almost back into contention for a playoff spot. I'm John Asperall. This is Seaside's podcast match reaction show. Blackpool 1, 2, 3, 4. Bolton 1. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Seaside's podcast on a Sunday evening. Coming in a much more positive circumstances than our last part. And I've just opened a bottle of Swan Blonde there. Not drunk all week. Not had one all week, but I'm going to enjoy this. Oh, that feels good. Even nicer than Raggy Aid, I think.
Raggy Aid cup.
Pepsi Max tonight.
Pepsi
I had my fill last night. Don't worry about that.
I can just imagine. Yeah, marked difference to our mood after the last pod and coming out of Bloomfield Road.
I had to go to work in Bolton this morning, didn't I? And one by one, they queued up for their humiliation as they just all walked in, going one by one, going, "Come on, you might as well give it to us." I had the best 3 or 4 hours of my life this morning. It's just the most brilliant thing. To be a Blackpool fan in Bolton today was a good day.
They were lining up to take the medicine off the ground sweeper.
One by one, honestly. It was like in the came. I've got another few days of it yet as I see more of them.
Did you have like a little ticketing system? Right, come on, next.
Yeah, the old Morrison's deli counter.
So what was the general view then, Andy, from Bolton? Did they take it like they deserved to lose, or were they a bit bitter about the penalty? Well, I'm sure we'll come on to that kind of thing.
They certainly had an issue with the referee. That's the start of it. But I think the honest ones have been saying for weeks now they've got hammering round the corner. They've been doing what normally you do to get up, and that's when you play bad. They've been getting 1-0 wins and 2-1 wins and things like that, but they haven't been playing well, and they knew there was an accident round the corner, and of course, like they haven't won at Bloomfield since Bloomfield Road since
77 or something. I couldn't
like
believe
that
when I heard that today. Yeah, unreal.
So I don't think they were perhaps highly encouraged that they were going to get anything more than a point on Saturday, and duly got nout.
That was the game when they had there was 26,000 there, which was the last time there was more home fans in the ground than homecoming day. It was the 77 Bolton game. I think half the crowd was them, to be fair, but it was like it was the biggest crowd that I wasn't there, but it was just before I started watching, really. But there's never been a crowd as big as that ever again since.
Good knowledge, Sakia. A nice tangerine hue coming out of the back of you today, actually.
It's my telly. You can see.
Well, the other half live, eh, Maggie?
You can afford a bigger one, Tim, on your wages.
Oh, these Hurrah Henrys live in Bolton, eh, Maggie?
Oh, well.
I thought
he's got moccasins on as well.
I thought he spent all his money on his
tangerine socks on.
Coats.
It's only a poor man's Lytham, no Bolton in it. Let's be fair.
True.
Right, let's just kick this off then. This monkey in the room. Shall we discuss what happened in the North Stand with the Bolton fan? Air quotes Bolton fan. Raggy, you were closest to it all. Obviously, we don't want to.
Yeah, well, we're not going to go too far in
knowing because the details.
There's been some. They've arrested somebody over it. Over an incident. It was just came across that there's Bolton fans in there, and that was it. I mean, I was close by to it, and they were So one of them apparently had been shouting out that he's a Bolton fan, and then one of his mates is saying, "No, I'm a Blackpool fan," and there was all sorts going off, but it just seemed to be a load of handbags, and then they were dragged out and took away. But I believe they were telling people to F off certain females and stuff who were closely linked to friends of ours, and so if that part's true, then they did well to get out of there. As
Alive.
they did, but but obviously, look, the police are involved, so it's.
What was interesting about the police involvement was that they seemed to very much leave it to the stewards.
The complete lack of involvement, Tim. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I must admit, but that's what the stewards are there for that, aren't they?
Yeah,
unless
but
it really cooks up.
There's enough police in that ground, Raggy.
I know. Well, it's more than I've ever seen.
We're not going to comment too much on it, but as the frog marching, one of them, who's the one who professes to be the Blackpool fan, away down the front, he takes a few. He takes a few punches, let's put it that way. And I was surprised that because there's such a heavy police presence that they didn't take a more active role in that. But there you go.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the police, I mean, I've not so much to do with that incident, but on the day, like, I've never seen as many out around Bloomfield Road. Never seen as many.
Loads of them, weren't there?
I was speaking to him after, as we do outside the Armfield, and, you know, as much as some of them say, well, it's bloody overkill, we've all had our rest days cancelled. But they do get stick every other game when they don't police it heavily and things happen. So, as far as I'm aware,
I actually thought outside
happened.
the ground.
So.
Yeah, outside the ground, I thought it was policed very well. We've been very critical on here for the certain games against the Nobbers, haven't we? About the poor policing.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anything approaching something unpleasant outside the ground whatsoever.
No,
however, 8/10 of the Bolton support had left by the time we were exiting.
Yeah,
the stadium,
but even from the morning, I got to the Armfield at 10 o'clock, like we do, and the police were there to meet us straight away and ask certain things, what we're doing with the balcony and everything. And there was a big presence in the area then, from 10 o'clock in the morning. 299 police, they said they were on duty. I said, what's the matter? Can you not afford 300? 299? Well,
they needed another 3 banning orders to get the financing to get to over 300.
So as much as I'd like to wade into the police and give them loads of stick, I mean, it might have seemed overkill, but they get a load of grief for not doing it, don't they? So maybe eventually they'll find a happy medium between.
They were on every corner, and it was. And it seemed to pass off without incident, which is what you want at the end of the day. You know, we've had incidents last year which have had life-changing impacts on a lot of people, and somebody who didn't see the end of that day. And so the last thing we want is a repetition of anything like that. So to be fair to them, other than that little observation inside the ground, I think you can say it was a job well done.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think our club have got a few internal issues, haven't they, with who's getting tickets and where, because like I think there's some issues on the on the hospitality side of things, with allegedly a table of 10 Bolton fans in the hospitality and 2 boxes full of Bolton fans, and you got to say, if you're a Blackpool fan, having a box and you're filling that full of Bolton fans, right? You have to ask yourself a question, because that reacts. They score, they react, then somebody reacts to that, and then there's a skirmish, and you can find somebody who's a pretty average Joe, let's say, with a 3-year stadium ban from Blackpool and a 500 quid fine, because all sparked off because somebody within our club has allowed Bolton fans in, and badly dressed for hospitality, by the way, Bolton fans to go allegedly to go into boxes and things like that, and that's the thing that really annoys me, because it's our fans that carry the can most of the time, not those away fans.
Yeah, I don't think anything's alleged. It happened, and he was quite happy for me to say that. Sharpie was what has told me, and Colin came in last night, and they were. Higgy had been up there. They were all aggrieved by it. They'd made complaints directly to Simon Sadler up there about it, and it does. And look, people can say everything they want. Well, people should behave. People do it, but you're thrown into that in the home end, and all of a sudden you've got away fans all around you, goading you. He did mention about the dress code. They're all told they've got to turn up in shirt and pants or whatever, and they're all there in jeans and trainers. And I don't know why you would do it. And segregation in grounds. And our club have been quick to have a go at our fans and say, "Oh, we're under scrutiny from the FA." But then, because you pay a few quid to go in hospitality, all of a sudden you're allowed to put 30 Bolton fans up there and mix together with a whole day of drinking. I don't know. That is ridiculous. That needs looking at straight away.
Yeah, Big Dog said it was only 4 Bolton fans in a box of 8. 2 observations on that. My understanding is there was 2 boxes with Bolton fans in, and a full table of 10 in the sponsors lounge, and that was even mentioned by Jed Mills. Like, don't give them too much stick. There's a table of Bolton fans in table 26, I believe. So. And like Raggy says, they were getting in with jeans or Andy said as jeans and trainers on. I remember somebody last year who had a very bad foot. Somebody we all know, his dad, and he had to wear a trainer because he couldn't get a shoe on, and he turned up and they wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, I've had the same. We turned up once. I had to go back. We had to go back and change our shoes.
So it does beg the question: why it seems to be one rule for one and one rule for another. But my concern is, I know Fleetwood. Like, if you ever tried to get into hospitality as a Blackpool fan at Fleetwood when you couldn't get a ticket, there was no chance, and probably rightly so. And I think it was because there'd been a problem with Bolton fans at Fleetwood some years ago, and so Fleetwood just put a complete ban on it. But the problem is, if lads are going down to do like that, they've generally had quite a few beers, haven't they? And it's just it just needs one little incident. And I'm not being funny, when you're in those boxes up there as well, it doesn't take much for somebody to go over the edge of one of those as well. If there was a scuffle, because there's no guard there, and I can't believe it was allowed. I've got to say, I was quite shocked.
No, it's not. It's not fair putting Blackpool fans in a position. It's not fair. And people can say what they want. Well, we should be grown up and not react to it, but you do. And Sharpie even said,
easier said than done, isn't it?
Sharpie even said about the next box along, it was the police in security sort of booth where they do the match day operations from, and he's tried to have a word in there with the ground safety officer. She didn't want to know. Said to him, "I'm dealing with other things around the ground," and the police wouldn't let him in the door. Just put the foot behind the door. And he was trying to explain, you're going to have trouble here. But I just don't understand how they give Blackpool fans loads of grief all last season about doing that, and we're under scrutiny on the FA, and then they go and mix them all together to make a few quid. And it is what it is. And it'll be Booker, because he'll sell his solid bleeding grandma for a £5 that man. So trying to scrape a few more quid out of Bolton fans. But shouldn't be allowed.
Well, what Daz has put that, I mean, I think I've banged that drum so many times, and I've said it to the police, I've said it to the club, and I mean it. Like, I really think that there's one layer of stewarding and what sort of the way they look at us as Blackpool fans in that ground, and another for away fans. Away fans have quite often got away with plenty that Blackpool fans wouldn't get away with without a 3-match ban or whatever. And we're constantly told, well, we do look at it, but no. They're allowed.
No, it's totally treated different. The police and the football is totally treated differently. I have this out every week as well. Whether it be club stewarding or police in general itself, I have it out every week, certainly with the police outside the Anfield Club, of if you go to an away match, you are treated a certain way, and you're told to go certain places, and you're not going other places. In Blackpool, nah, they do it to us. Our own club near the ground, no, you've got to close that balcony. The match commander wants that balcony closing for safety reasons for an hour before the game, and it's like, come on, what other town? Well, the town you've got a 200-yard piece of road to police there. We won't be allowed to do it in other towns. But they seemingly do.
Did they force you to close the balcony then yesterday?
Yeah.
For an hour. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but they've got the power to do it, and they did it yesterday. And it just causes a bleeding nightmare because you're squashing everyone in, everyone's moaning at you, saying, and then this is the best bit. They say, well, what, can I not come out for a fag? Yeah, you can go and stand in the street. So you end up with 40 blokes stood in the street then. And we've baffled police either side, like saying, I'm not sure what the point in this is. But someone got a bee in the bonnet 2 or 3 years ago saying, oh, when you've got that balcony, you've got the higher ground. As if we're protecting some sort of fort. It's like, dear me. No, they are.
Anyway,
the clueless.
Anyway, let's talk football, as Gaz just said. Let's talk football. Obviously issues that need looking at there. Let's hope something happens with regards to that. But as we are here this evening on a Match Reaction show, let's talk about Blackpool 4, Bolton 1. Drink it in, boys.
Boom, back in the room. Promotion's on, isn't it? Always said he had it about him, that Critchley. I said we shouldn't sack him.
What about winning the league?
Yeah.
Listen,
just a point on it. A point on the whole thing yesterday. What a great day. Needed to happen for everyone to believe it. It's got to be backed up now, though. Everyone knows that. It's got to be backed up now. Seen how we can play. Seen how good that ground is. No better place in the world when that ground's rocking like it was. And we've a chance here now because everyone believes. After seeing that, the players will believe it. They were bang up for it yesterday. Norman even made 2 forward passes. Unbelievable. Good passes as well. So either he's just decided not to listen to Critchley or Critchley said, just get on with it. Everything about the game was great. And listen, we rode our luck as well. We had some great saves where they were getting in round the back a few times. But that sends a message out to everybody, club-wide, fans, club, manager, players. We can do that to one of the best teams in the division. So let's just crack on, get 3 or 4 wins together and see what happens here. We just do not need a bad result on Tuesday and Saturday now.
I've watched the player reactions video that they do on Tangerine TV. Excellent, by the way. I'd highly recommend anyone watch it if you've got Tangerine TV. It's superb. Morgan, Beasley and Joseph, they interviewed, and every one of them all said, we've got to back this up. Every single one of them said that. So I think they are acutely aware.
They were bang up for it yesterday. Something's motivated them yesterday. Properly, they were well up for it. Flying into challenges, they were up for it. Good few of them fist pumping the crowd, not in the Critchley fashion, but giving it the big one to the crowd.
It was a feature of the game, that wasn't it? That I noticed quite a few of the players were like coming up to the crowd and going, "Come on, let's lift." Not that it needed much lifting, but
no, I think they were just joining in. Yeah. I think they were just joining in with the "Come on, we're having it today." Well, you can sense it, and as soon as you sense it, the crowd just goes wild, doesn't it?
You were saying, Andy, weren't you, at half time that you'd seen Lions warming up in the first half, and he was joining in the songs on the terraces as he was warming up. He was singing along, which I thought was fantastic.
It was weird, because they were going seaside, and he was going seaside, and just like he was just joining in, and he looked connected. He looked like he was having fun. He looked like that. He was ready for the game when he came on. And by the way, he played really well when he came on. And I just thought, like, great. That's exactly what I want to see. I want to see something like that. I want to see that sort of connection, and that. As I said to you, Tim, that makes me feel great about some of the things that I saw yesterday.
Right, so let's be honest. Did everyone feel great when they saw the starting lineup?
No.
Which was Grimshaw, Husband, Gabriel, Pennington, Norburn, Byers, Dembele, Coulson, Beasley, Lavery, and Pateta on the bench. O'Donnell, Morgan, Joseph, Casey, Hamilton, Lyons, and
I had a couple of people come come up to me straight away, said, "Oh, it's in that team," and I hadn't seen it, and I'm like, "Oh no, I was busy doing something in the club," and I looked 5 or 10 minutes later. But I mean, it wasn't. I wasn't overly concerned. I mean, it was what was going to be the change there. Coulson and Beasley, you might have looked at and thought, well, but everyone else would have been in that side, I thought. And I like Beasley because he reminds me a bit of John Murphy. I think he's got a bit about him. But yeah, Coulson. I'm not sold on Coulson, but he did relatively well yesterday. But I wasn't overly concerned. But I would have had Lions in the side. I would say, but
I think Raggy. I think most people looked at it were quite surprised that Jake started ahead of Joseph.
Yeah,
Carl Joseph, because that was the one which, listen, and as we're going to discuss it, it turned out to be a masterstroke as it happened. But when you look at it and bearing in mind the lack of playing time that Jake's had probably in the last 4 months, to parachute him in there against Carl Joseph, who, to be fair, I think has been doing pretty well generally when played where he should be played, was probably the biggest surprise for me. And that was the one that stood out. I thought, gosh, that wasn't expecting that.
Albie Morgan, quite unfortunate to be benched in for Byers.
I wasn't surprised Byers started because we'd won at Peterborough with him in the side, hadn't we? But I think he had a conundrum. Does he drop Norburn for Morgan, or does he play Norburn with Byers? And obviously, Norburn's his captain at the end of the day, and that probably was the deciding factor. I bet it was a cigarette paper of between who he played, because of course he'd had Dembele on the bench, hadn't he, for both the Peterborough games, and so he hadn't had that decision to make. But I think most people wanted to see Dembele in there, and it was a question of who was going to join him.
I think Morgan's been, from what I understand, Morgan's been carrying a bit of an injury as well.
All right, okay. Well, that might have been the decision that might it, Andy, just to protect him and think, right, well, we'll start with the fit that the lads who we know we can do a full game, and he could come on if we need him later on.
Okay, so how do you think we started the game? I've just penned in my notes. It was survived a bit of an early storm and 1-0 down after 9 minutes. Bit of a pinball in the box. It's come to Thomason. He's drilled it in.
He had to actually went to thread a ball through, didn't he? And it hit Gabriel and just came back to him. And he seems better when he hasn't got any time, Thomason, because he hit that absolute thunderbolt at Bolton, didn't he? When we were there earlier on the season, and he and it just came back to him, and he just lashed at it, didn't he? And just straight in the corner. Fair play.
I must admit, when I first saw it, I thought Gabriel had messed up a bit. But when I've seen it back, it basically just hits him, and he doesn't have an opportunity to control it. So I just think it's one of those, isn't it? It pings off Gabriel. It lands nicely for him. He hits it first time, and nobody could really do anything about it. There was no opportunity to react. Well, that was, I think they probably, based on the first 10 minutes, they deserved that. And to be honest, at that stage, I was fearing for us. I thought they looked better than us. They looked more up for it than us. And, I predicted a defeat, as you know, on the last podcast. And I thought my, not exactly, it's not much of a premonition, is it? But I was concerned that my prediction was going to come true. But sometimes with a good, if you're going to be a good team, it's the way you react to things like that are important. And what we actually saw was Blackpool react incredibly positively to going 1-0 behind. And as we'll go on to discuss, we got ourselves back into the game reasonably quickly.
Thomason goading the Blackpool fans when he scored, which...
They all do it, don't they?
They all do it. It's like, go the Blackpool fans. We're not the one that released you, mate. We're not the ones that released you.
No, but I don't mind a bit of that. I think they do it down that end as well. They know all about that North Stand. That ground's famous. Telling you, the club's famous. Everyone
I'd
needs
be-
to start remembering it.
I'd be celebrating goals if I ever scored as professional football with my own fans. I'd make a beeline, celebrate with them.
Yeah, but if you're
It
down
seems to
this
be the
end,
go-to thing now, doesn't it? Just goad.
yeah, well, as someone who stands at the front of that north stand, I assure you, any player that comes near that front of that north stand takes a torrent of abuse. So it doesn't surprise me. I'm amazed. I don't think they've scored off a corner all season, whipped in from the east side. But if it ever does, if you ever score off a corner, you watch that corner taker. I guarantee he'll be giving it loads because he's getting loads every time he goes to take it. So I don't mind a bit of that. But
One of your offspring, one of your many offspring, Tim.
Yeah.
Former presenter on here. It says, wasn't he part of our academy? Yes, he was, Sam. Thought you would know that with your encyclopedic knowledge of football, Sam. But there you go. Yeah, Andy, as Tim's just said, we got back into the game. Very important for an early response. Very important for an early response, and what response it was.
Yeah, first of all, I tended to see what was happening before. Byers was tending to do what Norburn, how Norburn had come back deep all the time to take the ball from Ekpiteta when we were having all these problems at the start of the season, and Byers was started to do some of that. So it was sort of trying to get the play going. And he was more positive with the ball when he did that, right? So that gave us a better starting point. Anyway, and then up the other end, up pops Beasley, and then he's sliding curling shot into the top corner, and cue pandemonium, and his celebration, like we said earlier. Had the celebration with the players, and then stood there trying to wind the crowd, get the crowd going more, waving his arms around, trying to get the crowd to be louder and more intense, and then you see it, and great stuff, really. Glad for him, because we don't think any of us saw that performance from Beasley, especially against Santos.
What I noticed in that move when I've watched it back, obviously I was at the end of the pitch. It's difficult to. I did see it, but difficult to see it. At the close up the way it plays out. His husband, and every credit to him, had the wherewithal to take a very quick free kick when we got it, and thread the ball through to Dembele. And this was going to be a feature of the game as it went on. Dembele running at the heart of the Bolton defence, and it clearly scared them shitless for all the game. What with him and his capabilities, and it's a great little ball through to Jake, and Jake scored a great goal. Really, he's slipping as he does it, but he's meaning it all the way, isn't he? So he's just slipped into the shot as he's trying to put the curl around the defender. But I've got to say, Hubby showed that that goal wouldn't have happened without him taking that quick free kicks. He took it before they were ready. They lined themselves up and they were ready, and they weren't expecting it. So we got them slightly unawares and profited it from it. And that's just what we needed, wasn't it? We needed to get back into that game quickly, and all of a sudden it was game on again.
Critchley's post-match interview on Tangerine TV, he did say that Beasley has been practicing that exact type of shot in training.
All right.
The value of practice, doesn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, slipped in by...
It was Dembele
slipped him in and slipped in when he scored. Did you see the strange rabbit celebration Beasley did? That was a bit weird. Wonder what that was all about.
Is he not trying to be a bee?
He's put his fingers in his ears, then did something else, then made rabbit ears. So I don't know. Jake, if you're listening, can you let us know what that was all about?
It was a bee with his wings flapping. Is that what he's meant to be?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably. I don't know how you do a bee though, but he'll have to put some black and yellow top underneath his top and take it off. Well, in them earlier rounds of the that Bristol Street Motors Cup that me and Gricey went to every game, just to get it in. Because you can hear things clearer there, echo. Whenever Beasley did something, you used to hear bees when he was shouting out, bees.
Sounds like he's booing.
It sounded great. We need to get that going around the ground when he scores.
Mate,
We did after the penalty. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it did after the penalty, and it still sound like the booing. But obviously,
Yeah, it does.
Oh, I couldn't really tell. I must
like
have been jumping around. I think I was jumping around with Gricey and George Robinson. I think I don't think he heard it really, but
Gricey was our North Stand correspondent. I've seen a few videos coming out from your
Well, I
good.
did say to Raggy before the game, right? I've been instructed by our elders in the South Stand to go round to the North and provide extra atmosphere because they were starting to slack on the job. The North
and you
Stand.
brought some Bolton fans in, and look what happened.
yeah, they go to. Are they members of your golf club?
Oh God.
It's all coming out now, isn't it?
That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? If they'd have walked in to play 18 holes this morning with 6 stitches above their eye.
And they didn't get that by being hit by a golf ball on the sixth green, did they? Maybe someone should have shouted 4. Barry Roberts has just said Grimmy's save on the 16th minute was awesome. I think you've missed some Barry off there, but yeah, I did note that.
Yeah, it was. I saw it at the time,
but
but I couldn't tell how it had come about. But I've seen it back since, and it really was. I mean, he made another one later on, not long after as well. That was great. But they were getting him round the back, weren't they? And that's where it looked like a goal was coming. That's definitely set us off to go and win that game.
Could have changed the nature of the game, Grimmie. Could have changed the nature of the game. That
it would have done. No
save.
doubt about it. No doubt about it. They kicked the stuffing out of us.
Grimmie is so good at these reaction saves, isn't he? He's kept us in games. I think he's won us a lot of points this season, which makes it even more utterly ridiculous. The benching of him for months and months by was it Mad Mick? Was it Mad Mick or was it the other
Mad
one?
Mick?
It could have been
Appleton dropped in, but then McCarthy just stuck with Maxwell, didn't he? And didn't give him a chance.
Mad Mick. Yeah. Can't carry on like this, can it, Mick?
Yes, it
Oh,
can.
it can. Oh, it can. What a guy. How did we do that? What's gone on here? This club.
Right,
I love that gift, me.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, those...
And TC getting a tune out of everyone playing the piano. You know.
No, you can't even get a tune out of a pianist. No, man,
oh God.
But no, Grim. Going back to it, Grimmie, both saves are awesome, and like very reactionary, but like great. Kept us in the game, and then that gave us the base really to push on from there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Went down the other end not long after the save.
Brilliant ball by Coulson between
the
fullback and the centre half. Hobby then ghosted in behind, didn't he?
Hobby again. He's taken a bit of stick Hobby in recent weeks, but starts the first goal and gets almost. I think you'd class it as the assist with the cross for the second, doesn't he?
Yeah, and just Byers, got it across Byers, headed in it. Scrambled for it.
It was Coulson for the second, was it not? They crossed it.
No, Coulson played a ball between the centre half and the fullback, and Hubby went round the outside.
Gorgeous George up there, nearly banging it in. I love that.
Byers headed it, and then scrambled for the ball and just got a toe across, and Exeter knocked it in.
Those go gadget legs were extended, weren't they?
Which I've seen before.
Well, he scores a decent amount of goals for a centre half, doesn't he? Mm. And look, he's our best defender. Always has been. Stop messing about with him and let him defend, and he's the main man.
Bison's is a hard man to please. Byers should have scored.
Yeah,
it was a great save from the keeper. To be fair, I thought.
What did you think of Byers, Lincoln Wilson? I think we've mentioned it before.
He seems to be a bit of a missing link for us, really, in midfield, doesn't he? We never seem to get the blend right, and you know, he's a player of proven quality, isn't he? And he seems to be improving Norburn as well. I think the two of them together seem to provide us with the stability in midfield that we need. Probably also allows Norburn to try a few more of those forward balls that, for whatever reason, he feels that he's unable to do in the way that he can, and reverts to. I mean, they still did it a few times in the game, to be fair.
But he played two excellent balls in the first half. One out to the right hand side, and then one over towards Lavery. Lavery nearly got onto.
100% agree, Raggy. I'm saying maybe because he's got Baz there alongside him, he feels a bit more comfortable in doing it. Knows he's got somebody who's going to slot him behind him or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, obviously he was a feature of the away win at Peterborough, and you know, he looks a good addition. He looks a fantastic addition. That's what I could say. And he was unfortunate not to score himself, but it's great to have that Marvin was there to pick up the pieces and stab it home.
And Bison said he's no Dougal, but just for Tim, Kenny Dougal opened the scoring for Birmingham United, or whoever they're called, at the weekend in the Thai League. Just for Tim, Kenny Dougal, fan club #1 member.
I'm already arranging the first the Indian subcontinent trip just to. So if you want to play, Sandy, let me know, because they're going to be snapped.
I think you'll get a lot of takers for a trip to Thailand. So.
Well, Blackpool could arrange a pre-season friendly there, couldn't they? That'd be good.
There you go. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Well, they got 1.5 million for Dougal, didn't they? So
is that what they got?
Yeah, apparently. Well, you might as well say that. Everyone just makes shit up, don't they? So 1.5 million, I heard. So that'll do.
Any pre-season tour that involves crossing the Channel will be a good start, rather than Scotland.
Yeah.
Just crossing the Irish Sea count, Isle of Man away. Do you remember we used to do that? The
that
Isle of Man tournament. Do you remember the Isle of Man tournament?
God, I went to it. We played Burnley in the... it was 3-0, I think. I can't remember if we won or lost it, but it was in Douglas, wasn't it? I went on the ferry. But that was mentioned at that last meeting, actually, about that. About why can't we have somewhere where we just play a week abroad, where you play 2 games in a week, somewhere in Portugal or Spain, and just let.
The last person to arrange that was Carl.
But it went tits up, didn't it? Because we didn't have enough players.
We had to cancel it because it's on the Riga Revolution. All the Blackpool fans are booked to go, weren't they?
That's right.
And
they could arrange a game. They could arrange a game Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and just everyone have a week somewhere and stay there and watch Blackpool Abroad. It'd be great.
What could possibly go wrong?
Loads, but that's the fun, isn't it?
It's for another day. It's completely for another day. But Steve Davis was on a podcast the other day that somebody linked somewhere along the line. The lad that played for us when Oyston was still.
Oh, I remember Stephen Davis. Don't worry about that.
And
go there,
he was reciting the lead up to the first game against Forest, and he recited the Riga Revolution, and the secretary walking in and saying, "Right, in the team meeting before Forest, you can't play, because I haven't registered you."
This was the secretary, of course, whose LinkedIn page had him with an empty
bottle top,
big bottle
in his eye. Yeah, he was eyeballing.
What was his name? Oh, Nick.
Yeah, I remember.
Was it? I don't know.
In the comments, what was his name? Come on.
The old secretary.
What always used to make me chuckle was Carl called Jose Riga the man from Del Monte.
He was a big twat, Carl, but the best name he's ever given out is Dog Food Dave to Haythorne's way. That's the best. It's just genius. It's like Trump, isn't it? When you look back at him, he's just give everyone nicknames, just like Trump does to everyone. It's like that. That's why you know that even though I laugh at Trump, you can't have him getting in charge of America, because that's the kind of guy you're dealing with. Fucking lunatic. But Dog Food Dave, I can't
he-
believe he's just dealing with big businessmen, multimillionaires, and he's just called belittling him. Dog Food Dave, he hasn't got enough money.
Yeah, and it stuck, didn't it? It stuck.
Yeah.
as did Tom Folding.
Yeah, as did
Tom
Budgie,
Folding, yeah.
Budgie for salesman Steve as well. A Sharpie, that stuck.
Trilly.
Trill boy.
Oh God. Crazy.
He never gave me.
days, eh?
He never gave me an Afro Man a nickname. Oh, I can't remember one, but he did. He did in an email. He did in an email called Steve a suntan addict once, bordering on nutcase. That was the phrase. Suntan addict, bordering on nutcase.
The one,
wasn't wrong.
the one he gave the one he gave to me about you began with B and ended in D.
Yeah. I'd take that.
Oh
Anyhow.
God. Right.
At least we can laugh at him. Yeah.
Tom, there was a Grimmy Unreal save 2 right in front of the North. Who's it from? Do you not remember? I think it was a ball from the right hand side, like pretty much like the first one.
Yeah, it comes across and
what's his name?
is it
Carlos Gomez. Carlos Gomez. Yeah,
it was Gomez, and that was the second one that Raggy was on about, because first one comes in from the left, doesn't it? But this one comes in from the right, and great cross, striker coming in into the 6-yard box, and instinctive save from Grimmie, and not only did he save it, but kept hold of it as well. So because they give it come loose, there was half a chance it was going to be like Pateta down the other end, and it could have been stabbed over by one of the Bolton players who was running in. So yeah, I mean, and listen, and it's things like that change games, isn't it? So if one of those had gone in, or if both had gone in, which is completely possible, all of a sudden we're going into half time. If you're not drawing, then maybe even one down. And every credit to him, because they were both, particularly the first one. I think the first one was the better of the two, but they were both top class saves and incredibly important.
big up Grimmie again. If you conceding a goal just before half time as well, 2-2, completely different mood in the dressing room. They're coming out buzzing. We're flat. We're unmotivated for the second half, and they could probably go and win the game. So yeah, Grimmie, superb. Keep it up, mate. Half-time subs. This was a bit of a curveball, wasn't it? To see Coulson coming off and Lavery. We were all thinking, surely not tactical, and it turned out to be the case, didn't it? Injuries.
I'd noticed both of them had gone down separately towards the end of the first half, so it wasn't so much of a surprise to me having seen that. But no, so I was just okay with it, because I thought they just both of them were precautionary on the injury side, really, and that's how it transpires, I think.
Tim, second half then. We've had these half-time subs. How do you think we started the second half in the run-up to the sending off, which was kind of the pivotal moment of the game?
Well, we had the great chance, of course, didn't we? Because Dembele puts a corner in, a good corner that Bolton head out, but sort of only half clear.
I disagree, Tim. It was a crap corner. He scuffed it. If you watch it
beat
right
the first man, which is a good start for Blackpool.
No, but it's weird. He scuffed it, but it ended up in quite a dangerous position.
Right, okay. I didn't realise he'd scuffed it, and so they half clear it, and Lyons sort of sends it back in, and Joseph sort of improvises, doesn't he, and sort of volleys it with his back to goal, sort of turns round, and great save from the keeper who tips it over the bar. And it was right. I was obviously, where I stand. I was literally right behind that. And at the time, I was thinking, we're going to rue that, because that's a big chance to sort of give ourselves a little bit of a cushion. And obviously, in the moment, you don't know how the game's going to pan out. And you're always concerned that Bolton will come back into it. So I was thinking, was saying to Sean, who stood with, I think I'm going to regret that. I think if we're not, that's what I said at the time, and thinking, because it was a great bit of improvisation and a fantastic save. So I think we came out. I'm always glad when we attack the North in the second half. I just think psychologically it gives us a little bit of a lift. But sometimes the actual games have been flat, and we actually have played better towards the south end in the first half. And so, I'm still slightly concerned we're going to see the Jekyll and Hyde 2 halves performance, but we didn't, and that's, we give him enough stick, don't we? But every credit to Critchley, because whatever he said beforehand and at half time, we've kept the tempo up, and we've been on the front foot. When I used to watch us sometimes, I was always concerned that we never ran. We didn't run at the defences. We just looked for a square pass all the time. And it was a big feature, as I touched upon earlier, with the opening goal. Is a big feature of the game, particularly Dembele, but not just Dembele. We're running at their defence and making them commit, and then making the pass, rather than us just playing these very, very predictable balls that you can telegraph what's actually going to happen. So every credit, because
it didn't seem to happen yesterday, did it? That it didn't seem to happen at all.
No, and what we saw people improvising. We saw people doing things quickly. We saw players being positive, and Dembele was pretty much unplayable, wasn't he? He was just running at them. And I think probably all round is his best game for me. I just think the way he influenced the game from start to finish was, or not quite finished, but was incredible.
Was it 2 assists? I think he was involved in every goal in some way as well.
Yeah, he was. I don't think he was involved in the second, was he? I can't remember. He didn't have unless he was brought down for the foul. I can't remember, but obviously, I don't really want me to go on and talk about the third. Obviously
let's go on about it. Yeah.
Well, I'll just start it because
red card in the build-up, obviously.
Can we just their keeper, because someone mentioned about their keeper being crap. He is their second keeper, and he's nowhere near as good as their first one. And he's out for about 6 weeks. And he was someone they got from Chelsea, I think. He's out. They've got him permanent.
Coleman is called.
It was Baxter as their top keeper, and they signed him from Chelsea. He's a decent keeper, really good keeper, to be fair. And he got injured a couple of weeks ago, and he's out for 6 weeks. So they put this guy in. Yeah, absolutely. I don't care. But he's
we were missing our top goal scorer, Andy. Don't worry.
Absolutely, yeah. Don't get me wrong, and we all have injuries in the season. I just clearing up about the thinking that was. The keeper was crap, and their main.
Well, he made a brilliant save from Joseph, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, that was
Make any clangers? What are they on about? Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes, Tim.
Dembele's picked the ball up again, and I've forgotten who passed the ball into him now. I couldn't quite see it on the replay.
Joseph. Pretty sure it was Joseph.
No, who passed the ball through to Dembele. It was a decent ball into him. He didn't keep hold of the ball along this time, but he receives it, plays it out wide to Lyons, and Lyons puts a great dangerous ball right into the 6-yard box with Joseph running in, and Santos comes in and tackles fouls, as we're going to go on to discuss. At the time, most of the people that literally C block, their initial reaction was they didn't think it was a penalty. They thought Santos had got hold of it. But when you watch it back, it's fairly clear. He goes right through the back of Joseph, and with both feet off the ground. So,
just to give you my perspective, Tim, you just carry on. I'm side on, obviously, because I sit in that corner bit, and for me, I was like pen straight away. As soon as it happened, I thought nailed on. Yeah. It
might be because we were straight on, and we thought. Most of the people around me thought he'd got his foot round and hooked it away, but he didn't. I mean, and that's why I put a thread in the favour of TT last night, even before I'd seen it, saying, and I thought the referee was generally, it was good actually, because normally it's us complaining about the refs, isn't it? And Bolton were whinging like mad about the referee. singing you don't know what you're doing. And it's normally a feature of our performances that there's some very dubious referee decisions, but we did seem to get the run of them, I thought, yesterday. But so it was 100% a penalty. Is it a red card? If you go for the ball, as my understanding is, if you play the ball, then it's not a red. But when you look back at it, he goes right through him. So how can you play a ball when you're going right through a player? So I think the ref got it right, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I was the same though. I didn't really think it was a penalty straight away. I thought he's cleared it, but having seen the different pictures and angles today, yeah, well, it was. But whether he should get a red card for it, I'm not so sure. But I mean, I'm not bothered because it's one of theirs. But I'm not sure.
There you go.
Why end up with a red card for it?
There you go. There's the angle.
Listen, Mar's been sent off similar, hasn't he?
No, listen, I'm glad he got sent off. But I'm not sure why. I'm not sure.
Look at that. If you look at the picture, both feet off the ground.
Well, he's having a dive, isn't he? There.
It could be
get him off. Give him 2 reds. I'll change my mind. 2 reds.
Could be a red for dangerous play as well, almost.
Well, that's exactly. It'll depend. They've appealed it. And it'll depend what the referee's report says why he sent him off. But if he sent him off for dangerous play, then they see that photo, there's no argument, is there? They have got no argument. 3 games, see you later, mate.
Get it sent in, guys. You get it sent to the EFL now, quick.
Oh, aye.
Make sure they don't get away with it.
And it wouldn't be his first sending off of the season, so he might get 4 games instead of 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Like seeing the playoffs, boys.
Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. The penalty itself, then. Who wants to come in on that? Jake Beasley, one of the down the middle variety.
I took the video from behind the goal that I put in the chat yesterday, and it's it's glorious, wasn't it? He just the Bolton keeper was trying to point to him, you go that way, and whatever. And Beasley just says, you dive that way, and I'll smack it up the middle. And they
always look daft, the keepers, don't they, when that happens?
Well, there you go. Anyway, so that was the that was 3-1 done.
Joseph's quite good at getting pens, isn't he?
There seemed to be a bit of confusion if he was going to take that penalty. Yeah, I think Belly was trying to get it at first, and even Joseph, I think, might have been trying to get hold of it as well.
Well, I was quite surprised Beasley took it, to be honest.
Well, he's got sting. He threatened to sting him if they don't get away from him.
Yeah, there you go. Well, he dies after his sting, so yeah, be careful.
Yeah, we should have had another nailed on pen just towards the end, as
hold on, John.
Said.
Hold on, we weren't quite finished with this incident.
Go on.
Because we scored 3-1. Yeah, the players went away and celebrated, didn't they? And ran back, and the scoreboard showed goal, and Jake Beasley, and thank you very much, went to 3-1, and then immediately went, away fans, you can exit towards the left. What shithousery by the scoreboard operator.
Perfect. That's exactly how we should be acting at Bloomfield Road. Get out. You've seen Blackpool now go.
That's it. You've seen the Blackpool.
Get yourself gone.
Now, F off home, yeah. That's it.
I'll tell you what, the big up the media team over this weekend. Did you see on Twitter?
They've done better, haven't they?
Yeah, did you see on Twitter they've posted Big Marv's not the only defender to score against Bolton, and it was a clip of Evo scoring against Bolton in the Premier League.
Oh. That was all brilliant yesterday. Those chants for Everett yesterday were brilliant, and that moment, Evo give us a wave. He couldn't move, could he? He had to just stand still and not move.
Any movement would have been recognised as a wave.
If it had got stung on the face by a bee at that moment, he wouldn't have been able to move. Stay still. Great.
He has got a lot of goodwill to our club, Evo, and
of course.
he'll never lose that. He'll never lose that. But and I'm sure underneath it all, he'd have been angry yesterday with losing, but honestly, he'd have been chuckling and things like that because it's just up his street, things like that. It's just like it's humour in it. It's not like it was not no mad animosity towards him. It was just good banter.
No, it's good. Listen, he's their manager and he's going to want him to win, isn't he? Obviously, it's his job and that's it.
Yeah,
but he will have known when the volume levels went up in that ground. Like, fucking hell, I've seen this before. They don't lose. They don't lose when the ground's rocking like this. He'll have known that.
And he'd have told him that before the game.
Yeah, do not. That's what he will have done. Do not let this ground start singing, otherwise we've got a problem. So
yeah.
I like the fact that we turned it back on Bolton with them singing Ian Everett's Blue and White. He hates Blackpool.
Yeah.
At the Tough Shit Stadium.
No, it's perfect.
Completely turned that round, haven't we?
It's perfect.
With
the whole thing that is exactly how we should act to all away fans. Just give them nothing but abuse, dogs abuse all the time. Get out, go home, see you later. There's Central Drive. You've seen Blackpool. Now get yourself on the train station. Go home. That's how it should be. Fortress Bloomfield Road. Don't want them coming here having a good time. Come and have a good time on the promenade. As soon as you enter deep south territory in South Shore, no. You're not having a good time around here.
Absolutely.
That's it. The whole area should be tangerine. Should know when they walk in. Think, oh dear me. That's why I'm half in favour of them leaving that east stand forever till it's half falling down, ramshackled. Build 3 new stands in our end first before we even build a new east one. Regenerate the home ends.
And see, Connor's brought up about Big Bertha, but just by the way, the passion that Mick Page has got for flying that flag, and like let's big up Mick Page.
Oh, he's brilliant, Mick.
He's banged it away. He's raised the money for it, and he's sort of retired from it, and no one's really picked the mantle up. So he's decided to get it out for 3 or 4 games, hasn't he? This game and a couple coming up. And he's assembled a team of people and got him. So well done, Mick. That's
every credit.
To see it flying.
It looked great with the sun, because the sun was on the north as well, wasn't it? When it was going across, and it looked great.
Well done, Mick Page.
You don't realise how much organisation goes into that, because I was watching it fly, go all the way across the north, and there's a big bank of people all the way up on the steps, like. Must have been 15 people, and they've all got to unfurl. It's a military operation to get that back in that box. And I didn't realise what goes into that until I watched them all. So well done, everyone.
Yeah, he raises a lot of money through these little badges that he does, doesn't he? Him and Dave Vaughan do a load of
he does great.
And,
relentless Mick Page is great fella.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous, and just every credit to him. He's a top man and one of our best fans. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, just to wrap this up. Obviously, we'll talk about the penalty that we should have got after this, but Jordan, Gabriel, Tim finishing a great finish considering the ball. His first touch wasn't great. Ball kind of stuck under his feet. Very easy to shank that, but he dealt with it very well. And Dembele once again involved.
Yeah, we've got Dembele going down the left hand side, haven't we? And he's attracted the attention of all the Bolton defenders, who are obviously expecting him to go at goal. And then he's just winding them all by playing the ball right across the box to Gabriel as unmarked. Like you say, should he have hit it first time, maybe, but he's taken a touch and then he's just buried it. And Gabriel loves it, doesn't he? He's just like us lot would be if we scored a goal in front of the North. He's like giving it plenty, and it's great to see him getting back to his best, really. I mean,
he's brilliant. Sorry, I was just going to say. Go on, you finish. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, he's the best attacking right back in the league when he's on his game, and he's been out a long time, and he's had a lot of bad injuries that have been unlucky, and he just finally seems to be hitting his form at the right time.
He's perfect. He's a proper athletic lad, and it was only a couple of minutes before that I'd said to my mate Jazz, Gabriel, he's going to play at high level if he stays fit. He's going to play at a real top level, and then a couple of minutes later, boom, get in. But he does. He looks the part, and he's fit and fast, isn't he? Strong. I'm bang up for it. like you say, he's like a fan when he scores. So he's always good. He's always one for getting the crowd going.
He's been in amongst us, when he was injured. He's come
Yeah.
and stood with the fans at away games, and like he's got it in. He gets it. He gets what being a football fan is, and he gets Blackpool fans, and fair play to him.
Yeah.
Without the injuries, he wouldn't be playing at this level, would he?
No chance. That's why we need to get up a level. Keep him fit.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I mean, he's if he was fit every time, and you say we're in this league again, he'd be captain, wouldn't he? Because he would get the fans on side, and part of that job to me is getting everyone driving in the same direction. I'm sure he would. He's just a quality player and a top bloke, really.
Okay, we've not done player ratings for ages because we've never done a standard reaction show for quite some time. So let's do one. Let's go back to the team sheet and around the room. Raggy, you can start with Grimmie. I know someone in the comments put the Gazette only gave him a 7. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't agree with anything the Gazette. That thing should be shut down after their stance for the Oystons. It's an Oyston rag. That's why that proves it, doesn't it? Whoever's written that's not even watched the game. They must have thought it was Paul Grimshaw, Grimmie, they were looking at in the North Stand. Give him 7 for not getting involved in all that either. So, whichever dipstick that is, because the saves alone, it's 9. The saves alone kept us. It was as good as the goals him saving them. So 9.
It's as good as a goal. Right, Jimmy Husband, Grice Reaper. 1 assist.
Jimmy Husband's been out of nick, hasn't he?
He has. He was
recently
player of the season for the first half of the season and really dropped off.
Yeah, he's been out of nick, but came back yesterday. Much better from OB8.
Okay. Sakia. Gabriel, sponsors man of the match.
Yeah, I for me, it wasn't quite the man of the match, but I can understand why the sponsors gave it him. I think there was probably another player who ahead of him, just about ahead of him.
I agree.
But equally, I think it's his best performance this season. I'm going to go a 9.
Okay. Raggy Pennington.
Yeah, I like him. I'd always have him an egg potato at the back. Definitely. I think big, strong lad. After about 8. I think a couple of times they got caught round the back and saved by Grimshaw. Not saying that's his fault, but the defence as a whole were caught out a couple of times. But 8.
As a unit, defensive unit, there always seem.
Yeah.
You feel a lot more comfortable with him in there than.
Yeah,
than
definitely.
Not. Yeah. Ollie Norburn, Andy, enhanced by gorgeous George in there with him.
Yeah, I agree. But still not to where I think he could be. So there's a bit more work to do for him yet. And when he's full on positive, then we'll probably see the better of him. As Peterborough fans seem to think he was a bit more attacking. Maybe his injuries slowed him a little bit. 7+.
That's fair enough. Okay, Tim, George Byers almost got as nice hair as yourself.
Well, if you ever need any tips, gorgeous George, just give me a call.
Frosted tips.
It's no good him going to Raggy, is it?
Oh, I've evolved past hair. It's so yesterday, that hair.
He's impressing us, isn't he? He's settled in well. I think he's probably, if not the first name, probably, but he's probably in the top 4 or 5 names on the team sheet, I think, at the moment. I'm toying. I think I'm going 8+, but there's an argument for 9-. I don't use minus very often, but I don't think he's quite up with Gabriel and maybe one other player, or maybe even two players we're going to mention. But I think he's just shy. So I'm going to go stick with 8+. I think.
Fine use of your own internationally stated player rating there, Tim. Raggy, you've got the potential man of the match, my man of the match anyway, Caddy Dembele.
Aha, running down the wing. It's a great song when it gets going. That great song. We've got to make Wembley though now for it to make any sense at all, haven't we?
Absolutely.
So maybe it's an omen.
We might skip Wembley and just go up automatically.
Yeah. Well,
You've
it's
gone
possible.
from one extreme to the other, Andy.
Yeah.
The perfect 14 is on. Yeah.
The pendulum has swung.
Yeah.
Perfect.
As if.
Well, if we don't win on Tuesday, don't ask me to come on here on Wednesday. That's it. Man. Game over then. Anyway, easily 9. Easily 9. Maybe more, but he's got so much more as well.
You can't use 9+, Raggy.
Yeah, but I think he's got other levels. He's going to do more and more big things. So his 9's better than most people's 9s anyway. So
yeah, it's a 9+ then, Raggy. I think you've
got
to use
a 9+, but he's got other levels to go to, that lad, yet as well.
He's got 10-, 10 or 10+. We haven't. Yeah. I think we've used 10+1 7.
All right. 9+. Go.
Okay, Andy, and is Coulson's first name Andy? I don't even know his first name. What's his first name? It is Andy, isn't it?
No.
It's Coulson's first name.
No,
Dave. It's called Dave.
Is it L?
Go on. Am I alone? Am I not alone here? And not knowing
Hamish, Hayden, or something like that.
Hayden. Hamish.
What impact this lad's had.
I know it began with H something or other.
Hamish McCoulson, Andy.
Yeah, that's it.
Signed for Morbrowth on loan.
We definitely know he's not got a song. We don't even know his name.
Yeah. I don't think he'll have a song for a long time. Anyway,
it's not a good name around these parts, though, Hayden, is it?
No. He's got a nice Range Rover, to be fair. Coulson, but much better from him. I thought he played well in the first half. I think we'll have to give Lions equally a mark at the end because he was.
Well, you do Lions as well, then. You do Lions as well, Andy.
Right, I'm going to give Coulson an 8. I'm going to give Lions an 8+ for his involvement in things as well. Second half when we really took them to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agree.
So 8 for Coulson and 8+ for Lions.
Okay, Tim, Jake Beasley, coming for I won't say stick, but we were saying he was pretty limited. But I think one thing I noticed about Beasley, again, the game against Bolton, he had quite a few more facets to his play. And I've seen him like ghost past players, and he was a lot more skillful than I gave him credit for in that game. I think it's probably the best I've seen him play. Hold up play as well, winning corners and the like.
I mean, I'm always on the edge with Jake as regards to how I think he's going to play, and I think the only reason I was surprised he started really yesterday, I should say, was because he hasn't played a lot of football. He's obviously been out quite a long period, so I was quite surprised Joseph got taken out, and I'm also slightly concerned about how him and although they did okay in the second half, how him and Joseph played together. Bear in mind the discussion we had about that on the last pod. But I'm really, really pleased for him because, particularly when you've been out for a period, to come back, you think you're going to be sat on the bench quite a bit and you're not going to be able to have an impact on games. And he has, hasn't he? He's played a pivotal role in that win yesterday. And that won't be forgotten for a long time. And that goal keep getting played and keep getting played and keep getting played. So every credit for him. And he also, had the confidence to take the penalty. So I think it's an 8+ from me. Well done, Jake.
Shane Lavery, Raggy. He can also do his replacement, Carl Joseph.
Well, Lavery, I thought he was doing well. He certainly keeps him on the toes. We all want him to do better, don't we? And be goal scorer. But he definitely causes them problems. I'd imagine if he spoke to the centre halves, they'd be like, he's hard work. He's just moving all the time. And I thought he did well. And there was a couple of balls. Norman played one where he nearly got on the end of it as well. But I thought it was good. I think I'd give him 8, and then Joseph 8+. I think he's a great player. That just is he going to be a big goal scorer, Joseph? Though, don't know if he's going to do more work than he is score goals, but he's certainly a very good player. He
is a game changer coming off the bench.
He's a very good player. Yeah. But it's whether he's going to transform. Is he going to be a 20 goal a season man? Or is he going to be a workhorse that creates a 20 goal a season man? I don't know. Either way, not bothered because he's a good asset to the team, without a doubt.
The connection between Beasley and Lavery, Beasley and Joseph was better in the second half than it was on Tuesday night.
Maybe he wanted to play Beasley as well to go up against Santos. Maybe he thought he was the best player equipped to deal with the high balls, and I think he did quite well, Beasley, in that regard. Anyway,
can I just quickly say something to Daz in the comments, who is saying Beasley's better than Medine was, that his windows are in serious danger when Mitch finds out where he lives.
Yeah.
Mitch will be round, and that's and
blasphemous comment.
Then Medine might follow him.
Why are you talking about it, Grace, in the comments? Alan Dickinson's asked, what's happened to your flowers that were in your vase?
That's very true. Alan, I've moved house and I'm awaiting a decorator, as you see behind me from what looks like my bunker. I'm waiting for a decorator.
It's in the penthouse.
So
is that what the stains are on the wall?
Yeah, so I've gave Tim the flowers to take to Estepona last week to put in the rapist window.
I was going to say something then.
That's happened to the flowers. Anyway, I better go on to Ekviteta here.
Yeah. Good thing that's changed, Andy, as well as there's no delay. I had a couple of people saying to me, was Andy on a delay last week? Because he kept interrupting. I said, yeah, I think in his bunker there was a delay on his internet, but I'm glad that's sorted now anyway.
Well, for those that don't know, we have to stay on after for our audio to upload, and I think mine finally uploaded about 4 in the morning. Normally it takes about like 2 minutes after. It finally uploaded about 4 in the morning.
Oh, God. Right, Big Marv to see this section out, Andy.
Yeah, Big Marv did all right, didn't he? He's got his.
Come on, he did better than all right. It was great.
He was. He look, when he's in this sort of mood, we all want him. When he's not playing tippy tappy football and he's defending and able to play balls out to the wings and things like that. Yeah, great. So we'll congratulate Marv on a good performance, 8+.
Round the room, man of the match. It's got to be Dembele for me. Raggy.
Dembele.
Yeah, it could be Ekviteta as well. Could be Gabriel. But yeah, I'll say Dembele. Could be Grimshaw.
Yeah,
Grimmie, yeah.
Honestly, a few shouts, but I think Dembele, because like seeing him run at defenders and them not knowing what the hell's going on is a sight to behold. So long may that continue. Critchley play him all the time.
And then what about Mr. Nomus Reldas in the comments? Obviously, Mr. Sadler backwards. How about rating Neil and his backroom stuff?
We always do, yeah.
Yes, Mr. Sadler, we will.
Well, the Boswell brother won. only looked at his iPad 21 times in the game because we had iPad Watch. Apparently, had someone in M Block doing iPad Watch.
He was booking fans in the corporate on the iPad.
He was watching the podcast for the first.
That's what's happened. That's where the confusion's come up. He's got the planner from upstairs, and he's like, "What's this? Who's this player we're bringing on here?" Well, I'd rate his both assistants with 0 because I don't rate him at all. But listen, he outthought Everett yesterday, and he outthought Bolton, and got us a 4-1 win in a derby match. What can you say? He's got to have a 9, hasn't he?
Yeah, 9+ for me. It's best game of the season. Best game of the season for me. Yesterday. Yesterday. Best game of the season.
It was certainly one with the most feel good about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. That's my take on it, and a few people have asked me because they know how I feel about it, about him over the last few weeks. My take on it has been he was brilliant yesterday. He did really well. Not that I agree with the fisting, but he
wasn't going to do the fisting though, Andy. Was he? He wasn't going to do it.
Thought the North Standard disowned him, didn't he? And then they gave in and stopped toying with him and gave him a bit of ooh, and he was able to get his fisting away without any more incident. And
clean fist,
absolutely. But and the big but comes that it means nothing if we can't back up. We've got four away games out the next 5. He has to be impressive over the next month, Critchley, and he's got one hell of an opportunity if he can drive this set of players on to be for a positive run, right? However, if he doesn't back it up over the next week or so, he'll be in for a tougher time going forward. And like, look, he knows we as a fan base are sitting on the edge with him now, aren't we? He's got a stay of execution with us by a brilliant result and a good performance by him and the team, right? But it's only one performance. It needs to be several in a row. Let's be fair.
It definitely does, and I think we've got to win. I think we've got to win on Tuesday night. Not for any. I know it doesn't make it matter. We can draw and we get 4 points in the next 2 games, but just for people to say something's changed, just go and back it up and win on Tuesday night. Just go and play well.
Yeah.
Win. I mean, don't have to play that well. Just win.
It's going to be incredibly difficult because they're the form team, aren't they? They're the form team in the division.
Well, I know, but we're hitting form. If you look at, we've beaten Peterborough and Bolton in the last 2 league games. So,
I think we've got 18 out of the last 9 games, haven't we? So
yeah. And also, if he's deciding to play a little bit different now, like we've looked like we're doing, we can. We're talking about Leighton Orient. This is Blackpool Football Club. Come on, let's get them done. We came down from the Championship. Let's just get them done. Get Shrewsbury done, and let's get back. Let's just start motoring.
They only beat Portsmouth 3-0 away. We beat them 4-0 away. Exactly.
So it's a foregone conclusion, isn't it?
If we win Tuesday, that adds 400 or 500 on to the away following for Saturday, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'd be full.
I think there'd be a swell of optimism if we win on Tuesday night.
We know what it'll be like we know what it'll be like on Tuesday if we've not played very well and we haven't won and we've drawn. It'll all be like, oh, we don't need it. We need to just go through the same motions again, get the game won.
Just go to this game, approach it with a positive mindset. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them, Neil.
Yeah.
We're good enough to take them. Play on the front foot. Play for the win. And even if we lost, you'd get no grief off any of us or any other fans I know if you go there and you give it a bloody good go and lose.
Yeah. Well, you will off me. We've got to win. But no, the sentiment's right. We play the right kind of football. Play that kind of football and we get picked off and lose. That's football, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we all know the frustration all season has been that everyone knows that team's capable of what it's done in a few of the games this season. And then just not backed anything up, just gone to the wall. So let's hope it's totally different this time.
And and reiterating what we said on the last pod, we all want the same thing. We all want this team to get promoted. We all want this team to be in the Championship next season, right? That's what we all want, right? Critchley must want the same thing. He must, right? The players must want the same thing, right? So like, if they go in with the right belief, as we explained before, we've done well when we've had brave. We've been brave and we've attacked. And we've disregarded what the opposition are like. It doesn't matter. Just go and play.
And arguably, it'll be better with Leyton Orient than it would be playing the likes of Stevenage and Cheltenham, because, like you say, they're a better side.
And we all seem to play better against the better side.
And they'll be more confident. Yeah. They'll want to come out and go at it, which suits us. Yeah,
probably because we're not very good. We're not very good at the shithousery side of football, are we? There's a good half dozen teams in this division that do it.
And can we talk about just quickly about the possession on Saturday? That after Critchley had gone on and on and on about possession wins games and things like that. We had 37% possession, did we not, on Saturday, and won the game 4-1. Doesn't matter. Leicester won the Premier League with 30% possession over a whole season. Wow. Right? It doesn't matter. Possession don't matter. It's what you do with the ball.
Yeah, we had 8 shots on target to their 3. Which so it is, and it was. I remember back at one at home game when we played Wigan, and it was very similar, wasn't it? Where and actually, if you'd watched the game, you'd have said anybody would have said Blackpool were the better team in that game. But on possession, they had loads, and so did Bolton. But it doesn't matter. And how many times have we had the possession and played crap? So put the iPad away, put the possession stats away, and just play
Joey
football.
And Billy
play football. To win, play football, go out there to win. No, not to contain, not to draw. Let teams think about us for the rest of this season. And let's see what we can do, because I genuinely believe, we've seen it. They do it. We need to do it consistently. We can't not do it consistently now, because we're running out of games and we're playing catch up. We're a bit closer than we were, which is great. But we've got to run of these away games now, as we spoke about on Wednesday night. And I think, we've got to prove our mettle away from home, because I think, am I right in thinking we haven't got that many home games left, have we? We've probably got about 5 or 6, maybe. How many home games have we got left?
5.
And we've got
7 away.
7 away. So, we really need in this period, as we go into March, it's our away form that is going to be the most important determinative factor in where we are going into those last couple of games. And just think how bouncing the Bloomfield Road will be when we turn up against Wickham on the 1st of April and Cambridge. I'm missing both of them. I'm away. But how buzzing Bloomfield Road is going to be. It's going to be absolute, and that's going to be the acid test. It's how we're doing over those next 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, but there's a chance here now. There's a chance here.
Massive.
Leyton Orient and Shrewsbury. These next 2 games, Leyton Orient and Shrewsbury, we can conceivably win them games.
Yeah,
we'll be
59 points going into.
Well,
10 games left.
We might have sneaked in the playoffs then, or we might just be behind when we're playing Portsmouth at home. We're bringing the league leaders to Bloomfield Road at home to go into the playoffs, and that day will be rocking.
We've got Derby away as well.
Portsmouth already sold out, so they've already sold their end out. But we need one of them hyped up weekends, don't we? For Portsmouth, if we can get a couple of wins now, we then hype it up all week.
Yeah,
media team have done brilliantly since we mentioned it on the podcast. They've done a lot better. So It will happen
naturally. Part of that will happen naturally if we win the next 2 games. Just because people will think that's it, we're on a roll now, and everything will be going positive. These kind of podcasts will be going out everywhere. Message boards will be talking. Twitter half the lunatics will disappear for a little bit, won't they?
Rag will convince everyone there's only 150 tickets left.
Absolutely. I'll be outside with loud hailer off the only 100 tickets left. Get your tickets.
Off the balcony. Not an hour before kickoff.
If I'm allowed on it. Yeah, if I'm allowed on.
Right,
but
so
to me, it's massive. Just win Tuesday night. Just win Tuesday night and then take it from there. But just win.
Yeah, one game at a time. Orient away.
It is that.
But they have got a very strong record
So
at the
have we.
moment. Richie Wellens always plays some good stuff. I wanted him as our manager over summer. What you got thoughts then for this game? I think it's going to be a draw. I think we're going to draw 1-1.
Yeah, I would take. I know Raggy says win it, but I would take 4 points from these next two.
Well, get the first 3 on Tuesday, then it'll be.
But I think my gut reaction is it will be a draw Tuesday and hopefully a win at Shrewsbury on Saturday.
Points are no good though, are they? Points are no good. You draw all your games in the season, you get 46 points, you get relegated. Draws are no good to nobody.
If we average 2 points a game between now and the end of the season, I think we'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah. But if we won on Tuesday night, would you then be happy with a point on Saturday?
Yeah.
Well, I would take that.
What sort of attitude is that? I expect that from the Boswells with their iPads. This is not where we are. No chance.
But we don't want Orient to beat us. We don't want Orient to beat us because they leapfrog us. That's where I'm thinking.
It's 2-2 in this chat.
I wouldn't have this in a changing room at Bloomfield Road. No chance. Won't be having it. That talk would be banished from Bloomfield Road. Who are we playing next? Right, we're winning that game. That's it. We'll address it if we don't win it. There'll be some whipped feet and some docked wages.
I think he's OD'd on that Raggy aid, hasn't he?
Docked wages.
We love it though, don't we? I love it. How good is it when we get games like this today? And we get them by being positive and everyone's at it. And draw, what we're talking about, a draw against Leyton Orient. Think about it. Dear me.
Docked wages, you wouldn't be able to put a £20 in that ceramic chicken.
It's not about disrespecting him. It's just about, listen, we're at a level. We should be at a level. Let's just do it. Let's just know where we are. We're a good side. One of the best. We shouldn't be going to Leyton Orient for anything less than 3 points. That's for certain.
We'll win on Tuesday night, and then it will be the wave of emotion will be on Saturday, and then that will become a bit more dangerous to us because we'll have a bit more hysteria feelings.
As soon as that happens, we get knocked down, don't we?
But it'll be all right, Andy, because everyone will be happy with a point, so we can just go there.
But John, when we had that perfect 10 and we finished the season with 10 wins on the bounce, just for those that don't know, winning the last 7 away league games plus the 3 playoff games, right? So who thought that would happen? Who thought that would happen?
Nobody.
When we were 2-1 down at Forest away, having won the home leg 2-1, right, when we went to the Premier League that year, right, who believed we were going to win that game that night? The players did. The players did, and the manager did. They all believed that we were going to win, right? And that's what it takes. It takes the manager and the players to believe that they're going there to win, and they will win. If they all believe it, they'll win. They're good enough.
Yeah, they will.
Right? So let's go down there, full positive, right? Get a win, get the away end at Shrewsbury filled out for Saturday and win again, and then we'll get back home. But let's get one win at a time, as they say. But let's hope for a massively positive 4 days in the away games.
So what's your actual prediction, Andy? 2-0, you say?
2-0 win.
Raggy, I said 4-1, and I said 4-3 against Bolton, so I got that right. What are you saying?
But you said 4-3 against Bolton, you got that right.
4-3 against Bolton.
Did I miss 2 goals or something?
I got the result.
Oh, you got the result.
Against a wave of negativity, I said we'd win.
I think 3-0, but I'll say 3-1 because you might always concede a goal while we're at it. 3-1, we're going to win. It's our time now. It's our time.
You heard it here. You heard it here, folks. 3-1. Get it on your coupons. What are we saying in the comments?
Critchley, sorry. Bit of the Critchley fisting to Dave Whiteside because it's his birthday today, I think. So Critchley fist for him because he's Critchley's loving man.
2-0 Austin Bison's positive as ever. Right, well, I think we'll call it a day there. Yeah. We've done over an hour and a half. A nice positive podcast for once. And yeah, hopefully we're doing a lot more of these. So yeah, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe or what. All I'm going to be said is thanks for watching. Thanks for downloading. We're up the pool. We're back in business.
Come on, boys.
Back in business.
On the pool.